Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, to IeSF 2014. We're joined by a special guest who's bumping his way onto the commentary booth. What's up, Tasteless?
Not much, man. I am going to be casting some Hearthstone with you guys.
Yeah.
So far, this tournament's been fantastic. It is my first time here in Azerbaijan, as it is for you guys.
Yeah,
Baku,
yeah, it is.
Baku is an amazing city, by the way. I'm really
It's
impressed.
quite beautiful. Quite beautiful. A lot of new, a lot of old here. And we're right on the sea, the Caspian Sea.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're on the tip of the Caspian Sea.
We're on like a little peninsula into the Caspian Sea.
Right.
It's super beautiful out here.
Yeah.
Well,
and
we're actually like really close to the sea too. Like we could
Yeah.
like go out of the venue and throw a rock into
Well,
the
you and I
ocean.
we
could.
could go out to the
Tasteless-
venue and throw the loser into the ocean if we want to make it really exciting here.
I think so.
It's pretty cool to be down here, though, and we've had some good matches so far with some pretty well-known players. And
Yeah.
in fact,
There we go. I'm getting in here. I'm
one of
getting
our
into this
well-known
shot.
players that we
Yeah.
saw in the first match, Ignite, has actually been eliminated.
That's right, in the group
already.
stage.
Yeah. Yone from Austria has actually knocked him out. Him and RDU both beat Ignite, and now they're going to go up against each other for the first seed.
Yeah, we pegged Ignite and RDU to be two of the favorites coming in here, but instead Yone is the one who's been able to surprise people.
Yeah.
Really be able to get in there and bump some other guy out of his chair. It's like he's really been able to buckle down and deliver results.
Well, you were talking about earlier, Frodan, how not having Hunter could hurt Ignite in this tournament.
I mean,
and
I
it
used him as an
certainly did.
example. But
Yeah, it's the case. Hunter is the deck of the tournament so far.
yeah, I think so, because it's very clear. RDU was talking to us about his strategy, which seemed to be something we were discussing earlier. Having Warlock available is just too strong, because they could be Zoo, they could be Handlock. You guess wrong once in the best of three, it's over.
Well, now that you say that, we're going to go ahead and look at these bans because
let's
something
see what they got
funny
here.
happened. RDU's Hunter was actually banned this time instead of his Warlock, whereas he
Really?
actually banned the Warlock of Yone.
Do you like that, Tasteless, at all?
Well, like you guys were saying, I mean, with the Warlock, it definitely is a problem if it's Zoo or if it's Handlock. You just don't know, and you only get
Right.
screwed on the mulligans here. Banning the Hunter, Hunter was super strong, but I've seen some players down here saying it's not as broken as people were saying it was before. What do you guys think?
I think it's still like pretty darn good, but people are just more comfortable against it now. Like you really understand the full range of Hunter, so you're not going to misplay nearly as much as maybe a lot of the Hunter victories got before.
True. Well, one thing that also that always piques my interest is the names of the decks. So
Yeah, that's what we got.
I think this Druid deck, we can pretty much tell
Rampy
what kind
boys.
of Druids. It's Rampy Boys. Maybe that one's,
Something
a
tells me
Druid
Who's
deck.
Your Daddy isn't Handlocked. Does that sound right?
Really?
You guys think Who's Your Daddy would be Handlocked?
Yeah.
I thought that would be a Zoo.
I think so too, because Who's Your Daddy is like a phrase you use when you dunk on a guy in basketball.
Yeah,
when
when
you
you're
put
just
like
get
your nuts
wrecking
in his
him right
face.
away.
Who
Yes.
is better at dunking than Mountain Giant?
No, you dunk with Zoo for sure. It's
I'd
like
say-
Mountain Giant breaks the backboard when he
Undertaker
dunks.
dunks way hard.
I don't even know if Mountain Giant
Undertaker-
could dribble Artosis. He's made of stone.
That's right. And his foul shots get out of here. But Undertaker does like the 360 windmill slam from the baseline. That's what Undertaker does on turn one.
Wow.
Yeah. I think
He
so.
can't attack on turn one.
Well,
so
That's true.
He
Frodan,
can't
he
play
doesn't.
it.
He doesn't. I
And
think that is
Okay.
a handlock deck.
Well,
We're actually about to start this up.
I was about to say, we're not going to see that at all because we have Rogue
Yeah.
to start things off. It's a Rogue mirror match. Now, RDU's played this matchup thousands of times. Back when Miracle was on top and was the deck to bring, he sat down and played hundreds of Miracle matches with his practice partners.
Well, it's a very good matchup to know all the way.
Yep.
We'll have to see exactly which versions these
Super
guys
technical.
are bringing. Yeah.
There's a lot of Hearthstone's a game where there's a lot of decisions that can go either way, but in mirror matches I feel like specifically there's a lot of decisions that are extremely technical, like right or wrong, optimal play.
Yeah.
And Miracle is one of the biggest offenders of
With
that.
Miracle, obviously the coin can be quite strong. Do you guys ever think that turn 2 is actually better in Miracle versus Miracle?
Yeah,
in this case, or do you want that early
having,
tempo?
having the
one?
coin is really strong, but even having that extra card is great, so
That's
that way you
true.
can cycle through. One thing that used to be in the advantage for the other player, the player going first, was the extra mana. So that way you hit your Leroy combo faster. But now that Leroy's been nerfed, I'm not sure first person has an advantage at all, really, in this matchup.
That's an interesting point, actually. So we have the weapon now being armed here.
Yeah, and look at this. You think that maybe in the next turn we're going to see an insane Van Cleef?
Whoa.
I think we certainly could.
Because he could actually do, guys, if he weapons
not
up right
this
this turn,
turn.
and next turn he can make a Van Cleef that the likes of which the world has never seen. He will be so gigantic. It will actually be crazy.
We had no saps in the other hand, right?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so no saps
I mean,
there. Yeah, that would be quite strong then.
That's actually a free throw line dunk from Dr. J. If you go for a big Van Cleef. Wow, he is
Oh, he's doing it.
Whoa, crazy.
And then concealed just in
okay,
case.
well-
I'm
sap
surprised
wasn't
he
a
did it
factor
this
there.
turn. Like, he could have
Yeah.
done it the next turn and had an additional,
Yeah.
it would be an 8-8, and he'd have a 3-3 dagger. But, you know,
Yeah.
it's only 2 attack difference, I guess.
That was like
already his face.
Whoa.
that was just like a tomahawk slam. That was mildly disappointing.
Well, you got to think he's got to get a lot of damage out with this Van Cleef because that's a lot of cards used right away. to
This
start this, but-
Pyromancer is really clever against Hunter, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
it shuts
Yeah.
down Haunted Creepers really effectively, as well as all the Leper Gnomes.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to actually see him in there. I haven't seen
Yeah.
him in a Miracle deck in fact, I don't even know when, if I have ever seen
I don't think
him.
I've ever seen him in a Miracle deck either.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shiving and launching the rock.
Yeah. Usually for me, the rock not as effective. I've been trying that since
No.
the beta. It hasn't done any damage yet.
I haven't
but-
killed a single minion with the rock. That's how bad my
you're
RNG
clicking
is.
the right rock, too,
Okay,
right?
then-
You're picking from the right side of the pile, not
Sap.
the middle. Oh,
That's
Sap
so
is a
good. There it
big
is.
draw.
Get back
Sap.
in the hand.
Yep.
And it looks like he's going to go with Wild Pyromancer here.
Yeah, there's not really another play, so.
Well, you know, minions on the board is surprisingly effective. You know, you pull resources away from your opponent. He has less to combo with. He already used a lot to go with this Van Cleef, the coin and the prep,
Yeah.
and the conceal.
By the way, he does have a Shade of Noxramas, which we didn't mention before. I've definitely seen this in some Miracle decks.
Yeah, from RDU, in fact. He was the first person doing it.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, it's kind of interesting that Yone is the one actually bringing this here, because in the last few tournaments, I have not seen Shade of Noxramas used at all in Miracle decks.
I mean, it's just so good with Cold Blood.
Yeah.
You combo it, it does damage. It's already stealth, so you don't have to worry about conceal.
Well, what do you guys think for this turn here?
it looks like he wants to Van Cleef.
Right. I mean, he just wants to bounce it right back.
Yeah,
He's like, there's
get
no
that
way
out
he has
there.
second sap.
No, he drew into that sap, so he has a 6/6 once again. But there's a decent number of hands in RDU's or cards in RDU's hand.
Are you a bit amused by this right now?
Oh
my God!
RDU.
Oh my God, the top decks are real.
Oh man.
Artie's having the most fun game of Hearthstone he's ever played. I mean, he's already qualified for the next stage, so
Yeah.
this is a friendly match. But this
This
is for
is-
go-to gamer ranking points.
It certainly is, and for RDU to drop even any match at this point would just be devastating to his ranking.
I think Hearthstone is trolling right now because a third stab has been drawn in the past 3 draws.
You got to think with the amount of cards been used for the Van Cleef there, and the fact that it's been thrown back this many times, because it's a huge disadvantage for an Austrian player.
But, you know, he now is the first person to take the board with Azure Drake. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
a
true,
really
too.
nice thing, because now he can't spend his mana removing and playing his own Azure Drake.
Well, here's a question for you. What card does RDU need to top deck to deal with it? Because I'm pretty
Oh,
sure that's what he's going to do.
Actually, he already has the answer if he did that. It would be, well, I guess not this.
got
If he
a
played
Fist
Azure Drake,
Raider?
he had backstab.
Okay, so we got Fan of Knives here.
Yeah.
So we could just drop the Azure Drake now.
Yeah,
And
in
he's going to get
fact-
the Earth and Ring Farseer.
All right.
Some decent cards.
Not a bad card.
Pretty decent hand for him.
Lotheb is actually a big wild card now because we haven't seen too many Miracle Mirrors since Lotheb came out. And, like, he's a big swing, like, decisive factor because of how much spells dictate this deck.
What do you guys think? Should he drop Lotheb now, or should he wait and try to freeze that, the spell casting later on here? Or should he get that 5/5 out
Oh,
early? And
man.
Just,
I mean-
because with Noxramas out there, too, that's going to be a lot of damage as
Here's
well.
also an interesting question. What about putting out Van Cleef a third time? He's already used 2 saps.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you go
Yeah.
for Deadly Poison,
Deadly
Sap, and
Poison,
Van
yeah.
Cleef.
I love that play, to be honest, because as you said, already 2 saps gone. Thing is, Azure Drake and Lotheb, both of these are like not actually that scary. Like Lotheb is sticky, he's kind of hard to deal with, but I mean, if you do that, you leave the Azure, you don't even want to attack with your 3/3.
Right.
This way, the 3/3 is free to attack. You've
That's
got a
true.
big guy out. Your opponent has no board, and you're in a great
Yeah.
spot, I think.
I think the
Looks
more
like he
I
might do it,
evaluate
actually.
this, the more I evaluate
Yeah.
the situation, the more I like it. The second Azure Drake actually is very scary because you have to either trade or leave up his Drake, and that's too
Right.
dangerous.
Yeah.
You were right. He's going to go and go with that. So
I don't mind actually attacking with the Shade either. here.
Wow, I'm surprised he didn't actually. But, I mean, we can see that it would die. It's just, well, I guess he's playing it a little bit safe there.
Sure.
we got RDU with a pretty full hand here.
Yeah.
And he's just going to go for the Azure Drake.
I mean, card advantage means a lot more now than it did before. Because before it would be about burst, but
2 backstabs. So he can actually get rid of Van Cleef that way as
well,
well.
yeah, it's a little painful, but again, you're not too concerned about burst compared to board control.
And look, if he doesn't attack with this Shade this turn, then Fan of Knives actually finishes off. So that was a really solid turn for him. But again, he's at 14 health, which is kind of rough.
How can you not attack, though? Like, even if you attack to clear the
you have to use this Shade for something.
Right. In fact, if you use Azure, like if you draw with Azure Drake first, and then say you pick up Eviscerate, oh man, then you're starting to push damage and you have Loatheb to follow up the next turn. So I think we draw.
Yeah,
absolutely. So drop the Drake and just take a card.
Yeah, and most likely you're going to trade this 4-2 in unless you got that ridiculous luck factor for you. An Eviscerate pops to the top of your deck.
Skill factor, you mean?
Yes, skill factor. I'm sorry.
All right. So he's going to drop Loatheb here. That's interesting.
Oh, and he
actually
goes to face. Okay, yeah.
This is not a bad move, though. I mean,
okay.
There's no way that spells can be used as effectively here on this next turn.
That's a very good point.
Might as well set up, possibly get that extra damage out with the SI agent.
Right.
Loatheb hitting something like that to win the game.
It's actually not going to work out in his benefit because there's there's 2 Farseers there's a Farseer SI7 agent. There's other ways you can deal with this.
Yeah. Luckily, the Loatheb is out, so he can't completely own up this entire board, but still.
Yeah.
This guy's tough.
We'll go ahead and trade in. That's a good thing he has the 2 Earth Rings, though.
I feel like his Azure Drake was a little bit more flexible, but in the end, he took a little aggressive route, thought maybe it could pay off. And does he have damage to kill him? No, he's a little short.
He could drop Azure Drake and then use SI agent, hit his SI agent and then take him out that way.
If he had 10 mana, if he had 10 mana, it was lethal, right?
If only he had an Innervate.
Yeah.
Well, looks like he's going to go ahead and draw and not even wait for the draw. I don't like not waiting for the draw generally.
It's a little quick. But he puts his opponent at 1.
I think we're going to see Earthen Farseer this turn.
Yeah. I think so. And some clears.
And this is the only play.
Yes, indeed it is.
So he's back up to 7. You got to wonder if
Radu looks...
He's actually regretting that kind of rushed play there.
Yeah.
Looks a little nervous.
Yeah, I think he is a bit nervous.
He actually always looks nervous when he's playing, though. You talk to him offset, and I'm like, oh, you're completely calm.
Yeah. Well, he knows that he stands to lose a lot of GoSuGamers.net rating points. And that is not something he wants to do here.
Oh, come on. He's top 5 in the world, and like if you talk to Radu, you know you can't ever shut up about those points, so...
Let's see, he's got a Sap and a Violet Teacher here.
I mean, this is where card advantage really does a lot of heavy lifting because the fact that your opponent can't burst you from that 6 health is a big deal.
Okay, he draws Eviscerate here as well.
I actually like Loatheb, and
you just want to freeze it.
I think Loatheb here is actually great.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Clear with your 3-2, play out your Loatheb. That is 9 points you have on board. You're dealing for this turn anyways.
Prep Eviscerate isn't bad here either. If you prep Eviscerate to 3-3, like you have a pretty decent amount of damage. You still have draw in case you have Gadgets in.
Good call there.
This in general is a really strong turn from RDU.
Yeah.
And that puts him down to 2 cards, but he's got Fan of Knives here and Sinister Strike if he wants to start doing more
damage.
damage.
Damage is 12 damage right
Plus
there.
Sinister Strike.
Plus 4.
That's not bad at all.
We got like 16 damage here.
Well, we got a Cold Blood. It's not going to be useful at all now.
Oh, God. Look at how bad this hand is. Oh.
This is so ugly. I don't even know. You don't even want to sap any of these if you could. I think sap comes back out and is even stronger again.
Every sap target is on a deal here. And the worst thing is you can't even sap and play Violet Teacher to gain back some tempo.
Well, do you even drop Violet Teacher here, or do you just end the turn? And I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, at first you're going to be attacking the face no matter what. From here, I think you're better off keeping spells in hand because you still can pick up Gadget Sand next turn. So I'd rather drop Violet Teacher, attack with the face, and then Hero Power.
Do you think that there's anything in Cold Blooding the Violet Teacher?
Ah, that's interesting too. So then it picks up a trade. Your opponent did use Sap already. Yeah, you know what? Actually, when you say it that way, maybe it's not so bad.
It might be the best of all the not great plays that are here.
Oh,
wow. Sap on Loatheb.
Wow, okay.
So is his thought that if he picks up his second Eviscerate, he can kill him? But then if he plays Lothab again.
Yeah, I know that messes up everything. So probably that's not his thought, I don't think. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
let's see what he draws here with Fan of Knives. And it's going to be a Gadget and Auctioneer.
Well, I mean, that's actually not even
It's
that
too slow at
great,
this
honestly.
point.
Yeah, like he's just going to kill him with just raw damage.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage on the board. A lot of damage in hand as well.
Well, Yone is praying hard for a top deck.
Well, what can he even draw?
Well, that's not the card he needed, not that one.
And you can see that sinking in right now.
So, yeah. RNG's is not on his side for this game.
Yeah.
Well played.
Well, that is going to be that. And,
Well,
yeah,
I mean, as far as he knows, there's not enough damage to kill him, but that Sinister Strike is more than enough. Now, how does RDU choose to end this game?
I don't think you show the Sinister, you show Deadly Poisons.
Yeah, I think it's a good call there.
Or one Deadly Poison. Should Gadgets on as well.
That's true.
Oh, he shows both. Okay, but he does hide that Sinister Strike.
Mistake!
Well, everyone plays 2 Deadly Poison.
Yeah, that's true.
If I ever see a deck with 1 Deadly Poison, I'm really going to question my life. All right, well, that was kind of a cool game. You know, we saw a lot of saps being drawn right off the top to deal with Van Cleef. Saw a lot of damage dealt right away, the lack of cards, and the double Earthen Ring paying off for